Good morning, everyone. Welcome to prayer and meditation. It's so good to see you here. So we're going to take a few moments this morning before service begins to just simply be. Just simply be the energy that we are. That energy is love. That energy is peace. That energy is joy. So I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable. Breathing in one deep breath. Exhaling. Breathing in one more deep breath. And letting it go. Simply allowing the chair that you're sitting in, if you're here in this space, to support you. If you're listening from elsewhere, wherever you are, just simply let your surroundings support you in relaxing, enjoying being. Here in this space, we have the magic of the raindrops on the roof, a little bit of thunder, reminding us that the world around us is refreshing itself as we breathe. As we sit and breathe in the peace, breathe in the love, breathe in the joy. So I will mind the time. As you know that there is nothing that you need in these few moments that you do not have. So we allow the sounds of spring and the music to take us within. giving thanks for these moments in silence, these moments in community with that one divine life. All the energy, all the love, all the power, all the wisdom, all the joy that it lives as us. So I invite you to slowly and gently, with great love, bring your awareness back into this room, into this space, knowing that everything is all right. Breathing that in. So if you are online or if you are here with us in person, please stand by for just a few moments as we invite our very talented band back into the room, and they will provide us with beautiful music. Thank you.
Look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you.
I recognize the God in you.
I feel the love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too.
I love you and I love you too.
Now feel the love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
Every walk of life.
Every walk of life.
Every creed and color.
Every creed and color.
In kinship we unite.
In kinship we unite.
In honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, Namaste, I bow to you.
Namaste, I bow to you.
Now
We come together.
every Sunday knowing that love is
always the answer.
You got it.
Told you.
They got it.
Told you they'd have it.
I am Reverend Rainbow, and along with Reverend Soni, we are your co-spiritual directors, and we welcome you here this morning. And if you are joining us online, we also welcome you to our global community.
Global.
Global. Around the world.
Around the world.
So please say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from this morning. Make sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, all the buttons. And if you're in the room as well, you can feel free to get out your phone, check in, take pictures, and share clips of the service today so we can share this love and expand our reach.
Share it.
Globally.
I'm your animation this morning.
Great.
Share it.
You never know what I might say then, just to see how you'll act.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
We're going to have fun this month.
We might have, yeah, fun is the theme this month, so look
Watch
out. Yes, indeed. So, you know, one thing that we are a conscious community that's committed to curiosity so that we may provide a loving space to be reminded of the truth of who we are. We are an open and affirming community, so whoever you are, wherever you are, on your path to spiritual discovery, you're absolutely welcome here. And before we take the time to greet each other, I just want to acknowledge that one of our beloved community members, Margaret Long, died last week. And one of the things I just want to share with all of you is that Margaret was really adamant about not having a memorial service. In fact, she used very colorful words when she talked about it. So what we are going to do in lieu of that, and I've talked to her best friends who companioned her on this journey for the last year, is we're going to have a Zoom service where people can just express their thoughts and memories of Margaret. And so I will keep everybody informed as to when we're going to do that for all of those who knew Margaret quite well. Also, I just want to acknowledge the fact that Margaret really loved animals and would feed anything that came into her yard, including raccoons and possums and skunks and cats and dogs and birds. And I didn't see any fish, but if one showed up, I'm sure that she would feed it. So one of the ways to honor her is by giving to our local animal shelters. And then also, I just want to mention that Margaret was very service-oriented in her life. She was the first person to start the Kentucky Cabinet for Alcohol and Drugs. She also was involved in starting the comprehensive care programs all over our state. She worked with many of our mayors, Jim Gray in particular, helping him get reelected when he was running for mayor. And I mean, it's just on and on. This woman was a phenomenal gift to the state of Kentucky. So spread the word and let people know that we will be doing that. A very casual Zoom service, because it's not a memorial service. Now, we know that we are all a reflection of one another, yes? Yes. So just take a moment to turn to someone here in the room, and also online. You can just type it in for someone else. Thank you for being a reflection of me.
All right, so we have a fabulous vision and purpose here, so I invite you to repeat after me. We are an inclusive community.
We are an inclusive community.
Committed to global transformation.
Committed to global transformation.
Through personal evolution.
Through personal evolution.
And our purpose is, let's do it together.
Wake up, step up, and make a difference.
And today's affirmation is, I embrace play throughout my day. Let's go together.
I embrace play throughout my day.
That sounds like a song.
I could write
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
Yeah. So if you're a guest joining us for the very first time this morning, either here in the room or online, please know that your presence makes a difference in our lives, and we would love to acknowledge that and give you a special gift. So if you are a first-time visitor here this morning, would you please raise your hand or stand, and one of our core council members will come by and give you a gift. Anyone here for the first time?
I just want to give.
Yeah. Then let's just applaud ourselves. Hey, come on. And also, with that applause, we acknowledge the beautiful and amazing individuals who that serve our community, our SEVA individuals, and I would like to thank all of those volunteers. We could not do this without you, and so we so appreciate, and I just want to give that and I think we have someone in the room too that gives a lot to Ahava,
Yes.
and so we want to acknowledge them. Yeah, I think there's a new minister in the house or
So we are going to be celebrating Reverend Cynthia the first Sunday in April with an official installation in service where she will be installed as a staff minister here at Ahava, and we are just she's going to be here that first Sunday in April, and congrats on the long journey and the step-by-step process, and she completed her panels in the launch program this past weekend. So
are we having cake?
Let's have cake.
Yes.
You want cake?
Cake. I want cake.
All right.
What's your favorite cake, Cynthia?
German sweet chocolate.
Oh.
All right. So somebody gonna make that. So let us know.
Who's gonna make that?
It? Just putting it out there. All right. So we have several exciting things going on in our youth coordinator. So she has an announcement. Yes.
I do, unplanned.
Always fun. I love that.
I just want to say hi. I want to say I had posted on the community Facebook page recently about stuff that we were looking for in the youth program. We have reached our goal with those donations.
Oh, great.
And next week we are going to do a seed planting lesson in the youth room. So for all of you that are online maybe watching, bring your kids. It's going to be a really fun lesson, and hopefully it'll be nice so we can do it outside. Also, if you have any other donations that you think might be good for the youth program, if you wouldn't mind messaging me on the Facebook page, and I can tell you if we need them or if we even have room, that'd be great. And also, we're still always looking for some new volunteers. The youth program is going really great, and I just would love to see many, many more children, many amazing volunteers. I just see a lot of people out here that have amazing talents and spirits to be with the kids. So that's the other thing, and I think that's it. I will keep you posted and keep doing Facebook posts, so look for those in our group, and thank you very much.
And if you're not on Facebook and want to reach out about the youth program, you can go to our website. On the youth page, Heather's information is there as well. All right, so Wednesday nights we have our meditation and metaphysical discussion on Zoom at 6:30. That is open to everyone. We are starting the 21-day Money Keys Jumpstart. Reverend Karen Russo has this fabulous book called The Money Keys that we did as our book study at the end of last year. And she is doing a Jumpstart program, and I will be joining her for that starting March 20th. There are things online that you can access and do every day on your own time, and then we're also doing 4 sessions live on Zoom, answering questions and doing some practices and teachings together for that. You can find that information on our website as well. And our next class is starting tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday, March 7th, and it is the Art and Science of Spiritual Mind Treatment.
Prayer.
Affirmative prayer, yeah. So if you are interested in learning this spiritual technology called spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer, which is unique to Centers for Spiritual Living. Dr. Ernest Holmes, this is, one of the practices that he brought into this world that you can't learn this anywhere else. So I promise you it will change your life. It is one of the most powerful spiritual practices in order to shift your thinking and your perspective and get in alignment to what you desire for yourself and the world. And Louise Town, our practitioner, is going to be facilitating that. She is a master at this, and you do not want to miss the opportunity to be in this class. So you can still sign up. There are some resources and books and stuff for that, but go ahead and sign up, and then we can get you everything you need. And that is on our website, on our email, on our social media, all the places. And lastly, we are having a new art show in our space here, and that is going up in April. So if you have a piece you would like to contribute, you can reach out to Karen Briggins or Christine Levitt, or send us an email. We'll connect you with them. And the theme is finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. So I look forward to see how this space is transformed this spring. Let's give some love to this band, yeah? And now we invite you to take a breath, settle in as we move into our centering song and our opening prayer, which will be led by practitioner Connie Moore.
Loving Spirit grows in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender. Let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore.
Loving Spirit does indeed dwell in me, as me. So simply breathe into this moment, this perfect moment, knowing that Spirit is all there is. There is no other. Spirit is both creator and creation, constantly creating out of itself only what it knows. And it knows love, it knows peace, it knows wholeness, it knows order, and it knows joy. And all of that lives right here, right now. It is present in every moment, every breath, every heartbeat. It is present here and it is present everywhere. It escapes the bounds of this building. It is everywhere I know and everywhere I don't know. There is nowhere it is not. It shows up in the the sounds of our musicians. It shows up in the message of our ministers. It shows up in all of the hearts and hands that come together to make Ahava. It's knowing that we are blessed by all of this energy. Simply let it be by saying, and so it is.
Loving Spirit dwells through me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let be love. May I have no fear. All the power of the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells as me, now and evermore. Amen. Lauren, would you please do our reading?
Certainly. Today's reading is from the book entitled Play by Stuart Brown. Life without play is a grinding, mechanical existence organized around doing the things necessary for survival. Play is the stick that stirs the drink. It is the basis of all art, games, books, sports, movies, fashion, fun, and wonder. In short, the basis of what we think of as civilization. Play is the vital essence of life. It is what makes life lively. Stepping out of a normal routine, finding novelty, being open to serendipity, enjoying the unexpected, embracing a little risk, and finding pleasure in the heightened vividness of life. These are all qualities of a state of play. But when play is denied over the long term, our mood darkens. We lose our sense of optimism, and we become incapable of feeling sustained pleasure. The ability to play is critical not only to being happy, but also to sustaining social relationships and being a creative, innovative person. When we play, we are engaged in the purest expression of our humanity, the truest expression of our individuality. Is it any wonder that often the times we feel most alive, those that make up our best memories, are moments of play?
I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. You get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single step for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some hell-bent heart leave you bitter. When you get close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens up above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. If ever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Come on, dance. And I hope you look back on you dance. Where you have gone. I hope you dance.
I think so, yes. I agree.
Well, Reverend Soni, shall we dance?
It depends on how you dance and who's going to lead. Uh-huh.
Yes. So this month we are kicking off a new theme centered around the idea of play. So how many of you may have the tendency to, in moments, take life a little too seriously? Right? It's easy to get caught up in the circumstances of the world, and especially right now.
Oh, yeah.
Understandably, there's so much conflict in the world amidst war and the pandemic. Yet I want to present the idea of what would it be like to embrace joy as an act of resistance, to demonstrate to those who seek to oppress the strength and the resilience of our shared humanity by expressing joy through music, through dance, through play.
it's curious how oppressive regimes seek to control by stripping away parts of our humanity through access to music, banning certain music, dance, these things that make us feel alive. Author Ingrid Fattel-Lee explains joy is an act of resistance because it counters and contrasts with the rigidity and the control of oppressive structures in a non-violent way. She goes on to say that none of us want to be the rich people on the Titanic sipping champagne in a black tie while watching the waters rise, but there is good reason to fear complacency because joy is a fundamentally different thing than turning a blind eye. So this is the kind of the nuance I want us to get today. And if you're curious about this idea of joy as an act of resistance, I invite you to look up the works of Audre Lorde and Andrea Marie Brown, and I'll post some links and other resources for you. So I want you to consider, what would it be like to embrace play throughout your day as a spiritual practice and as an expression of life and an expression of freedom. Spirit has created all with an overflowing capacity of joy, of balance, of freedom. And yet our human tendency is to get caught up in the busyness of the world and such that we forget to engage with these essential aspects of our divine selves. So play is a sacred activity, and it is absolutely necessary for the complete expression in this life. Play connects us with a sense of wonder and creativity, and play is healing for the body, mind, and heart, as it connects us with others and inspires us to be our greater yet to be. And as they say, laughter is the best medicine, right? Mm-hmm. So connecting deeply with the divine, sometimes we can think of this as like serious, heavy work. I got to go do my spiritual practice, I'm going to sit in silence and meditate and pray and contemplate. And we can act like a very serious spiritual person, yet what would it be like to embrace the joy and the spontaneity of spirit and the divine through us as a spiritual practice, calling us to celebrate all, the serious and the silly? Really think about that. What would it be like to celebrate, to honor, to acknowledge all that's occurring in the world, in our life, the serious and the silly? In the Science of Mind Declaration of Principles, Dr. Ernest Holmes wrote, "We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of any nature, and that this goal is surely attained by all." So as we recognize that we are playing with the divine, this energy, at all times, we can connect to those qualities of freedom and joy that flow naturally from us through this deep connection with the universe, with all that there is, within us and around us, and begin to release the need to struggle and begin to see things from a different perspective. When you find yourself really taking something very seriously, what would it be like to just consider another perspective? So let's open to this idea of spirit and spiritual practice as not just being some proper, serious adult thing that we do, but rather that spirit and this energy of creativity and love and joy and play is all that there is and is expressing through all. In the Holmes paper, Dr. Ernest Holmes wrote, God sings all the songs, dances all the dances, paints all the pictures, and creates all the art. Every book plays every game. Writes every book and plays every game. So I know for me, when I'm in that flow state of creativity, it's like allowing that divine presence to move through me, whether it be through dancing or singing or writing or drawing. This energy, these moments, they resemble the same feeling state as when I am in deep contemplation or meditation. So I invite you to take a moment now and just reflect for yourself and notice, how do you view your spiritual life? Is it something that you've compartmentalized over here? And is it something that you look at as serious or playful or both? I think it's pretty obvious that Reverend Soni and I both have a core value of play and joy. It's natural to who we are. And there are moments of very serious work and often heartbreaking struggles in ministry.
Oh boy, you think?
Yeah. So our goal is to embrace spirituality as a both and instead of an either or.
Exactly, yeah. I was thinking about, as you were talking, I was thinking about the fact that I love, and maybe some of you also, I love to color. I like to get a kid's coloring book and just sit down and color, and I can get lost in that. And that's a lot of fun for me, and it's also very meditative. So I'm having fun and I'm meditating at the same time, basically. I was reading an article in the LA Times, I don't know, this is about 2 or 3 weeks ago, about an increase in carjacking and joyrides. As people began to come out of their homes from the pandemic, it seems to be something that is being picked up again. And I was thinking about this. I was thinking about joyrides, and what would it be like to take a joyride with Spirit? And for those of you who don't know the term joyride, it's to drive around in a vehicle, to steal a vehicle, really, with no particular goal, right? A ride taken solely for pleasure. A joyride almost always ends with the vehicle being returned to the owner unharmed, in most cases, and abandoned for lack of fuel. Or reported as stolen, right? So this really led me to that idea of what it would be like to really look at joy as a deep embodiment of Spirit. In Psalms 100 we read, "Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness, come before this presence with singing." You can use whatever word you want to use in there for Lord, Spirit, or the divine. But make a joyful noise unto the divine and serve it with gladness. So what this means for me is that you come to Spirit with joy in your heart, for you have a desire to have a meaningful relationship, not to just go through the motions of seeking Spirit only when you want something or when you're troubled, right? I mean, let's face it, the truth is that's when we turn to Spirit the most, is when something's going on in our lives that we don't want to go on in our lives. So it means to not only pray when you're suffering, but to come to Spirit with a glad heart, with grace, with joy and gratitude in your heart. And the thing is joy, the word joy vibrates throughout many, many sacred writings as a profound, compelling quality of life that can transcend the events and disasters that anybody may be feeling in their life. Real joy is a divine dimension of living that is not defined by our circumstances and our conditions. You know, by the way, the most common word in Hebrew for joy is simcha, which is loosely translated as gladness, to be glad. You know, and another is hedva, which is translated as it is God's joy. Think about that. It is God's joy. So it is this joy that makes us glad, that strengthens us, and we find our joy and our strength and spirit. So, you know, true joy from within, true joy that we embody is not an emotional state.
Right.
It's a spiritual state. That was a revelation for me. It's a spiritual state. Without joy, somewhat like the reading that Lauren did earlier, you know, everything in our lives slows down. I mean, did you ever notice that when we're unhappy or we've lost our joy temporarily, that our lives simply slow down? We trudge through the day, you know, oh man, what do I have to do today? Right? Our energy is zapped. We don't have any energy. It's just like that car that runs out of gas. But when we have joy in our hearts, life speeds up. And, you know, I love this phrase, wow, where'd the time go?
Yeah.
Right? Wow.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you embody joy.
Yes.
Right? So we have plenty of energy to do the things that we want to do or the things that make us happy. And the other thing I think about when I think about joy is enthusiasm. And I think enthusiasm is based on joy, that we can't find joy or any happiness in our work or our relationships or in our lives without enthusiasm kicking it off. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes when I'm, you know, like trudging through life, right, I can practice enthusiasm. Okay, for something I don't really want to do, but I can say, oh, I'm so excited to do this, right? But it changes my energy.
Yeah.
It changes my energy, and enthusiasm, you see, springs from this deep-seated joy from within.
Yes.
So it's kind of like the match. You know, when you're not feeling joy, light up your enthusiasm.
Yes.
Act as if.
And I know music is a big part of that for me. Like,
for sure.
you know, I have to clean or something. I'm like, but I put on a song, and then it gets that energy going, and that finds that enthusiasm to then be able to sing and dance while I do my chores.
Exactly. You know, and some people, when they're not feeling so good or they just break up in a relationship, they put on sad stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, my heart is broken, standing in the welfare line of your love, or whatever. You know?
Is that your go-to?
Give me
Heartbreak song?
Give me a handout or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So yes, you can choose what music you put on. You can choose what direction you want to go. So without enthusiasm, love for everything either lies dormant or is so weak that we have no love for work or people or life. So use enthusiasm to kick in that joy that's already deep-seated within each and every one of us. Because when we affirm, I am joy, we find all expressions of life effortless. The more joy that I embody, the greater is my strength and desire to give more, to serve more, to discover more, right? To have that curiosity, inquisitive mind. As joy is released, what happens, it's like anything else, it increases. The more you release it, the more it increases, and so does its capacity to expand forever, indefinitely, and infinitely. The greater the rejoicing, the richer joy grows in its quality of giving. And think about this. when we're in tune with joy, we never think about debating our worthiness. We never question that. We're not asking ourselves, am I doing too much? Am I giving too much? Our joy is too busy just being joyous to bother measuring itself for either quantity or quality of expression. You know, I was out the other day walking Grail, my dog, our dog, and I noticed that the buds are coming up, right? Have y'all noticed this? That
Seen a
spring?
few. Yeah.
Yeah, spring is trying to spring, you know. So the buds are beginning to spring forth. And it reminded me to actually take a joy ride or to have the fruit of joy ripen in our lives is to recognize there is, like so many other things, thank you for that acknowledgement, like so many other things, a journey involved in getting there. For example, it takes time, diligence. It takes that P word, patience, and hard work to make a grapevine produce grapes. Think about it. Fruit is not instantaneous because it too has to overcome weather and bugs and weeds and sometimes poor soil and sometimes neglect, just like we neglect ourselves, right? Likewise, in our journey of recognizing joy, we're faced with the waves of apathy, the currents, you might say, of pessimism, the deluge of doubt, and the waterfalls of despair. If we want to see this fruit of joy ripen in our lives, we must open up to Spirit to prune away whatever it is that hinders our joy and then empowers us to make some choices that move us closer to a lifestyle of rejoicing. Right now is an opportunity, and really, which is available to us at any moment, to recognize that we can trust in the divine, not in the circumstances of our lives. How many times do we pray, like I said before, about the things that are going wrong instead of the things that are going right in our lives? I mean, we can affirm that every day.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but when I get into that place of trusting that no matter what's going on in my life, Spirit is right where I am, it brings me comfort and joy.
Yes.
And this is not to dismiss what is happening right now, because there's some stuff going on in our world that is extremely disturbing. What I'm talking about is getting into action and doing what I'm able to do in the moment to help, but also to remember what Khalil Gibran wrote. He wrote this: some of you say joy is greater than sorrow, and others say, nay, sorrow is the greater. Joy and sorrow are inseparable. Together they come, and when one sits alone with you, remember that the other is asleep on your bed.
Beautiful. Yes. So this week, with joy in your heart, we invite you to explore ways in which you would like to engage in play as a spiritual practice. Seek ways to be silly, to laugh, and to celebrate the unimaginable beauty of life. Ask yourself, are you willing to commit to making time for play this week? Schedule it in. You know, often we schedule in all these things that seem so urgent that play kind of becomes the last thing, right? What if you were to prioritize play as a spiritual practice to then boost that enthusiasm within you so that whatever else you do throughout your day, you greet it from that place and notice if time begins to fly, if you can shift your perspective a bit. And I also invite you to notice right now if you're having any resistance around this idea of play as a spiritual practice. And can you allow yourself to be with those feelings as well without judgment for the next week or so? So meet yourself where you are. Be curious. Notice. And then whether it's frolicking in the grass, admiring the signs of spring that are starting to emerge, or if it's going for a joyride in your own vehicle, ask permission first. Remember to allow joy to rise up within you as you, and most of all, have fun.
Have fun.
Have fun.
I'm going to go home and color.
Good. That sounds great. All right. Well, let's pray, shall we? I'll kick us off. So we take a nice deep breath. Just allowing this energy, this vibration that we have created in this room, in this moment, right here, right now, to allow this energy of love, of freedom, of joy to have its way as we acknowledge that there is one life, one presence, one power, this energy, the source back of all things. Call it God, Spirit, universe, divine. What I know is that this one life is joy. It is the very essence and vibration of freedom, of love, of creativity. And knowing that all there is this one life, I know that it must be who I am. That joy is who I am. It is the natural state. It is my very essence and way of being. Peace, joy, love, freedom, creativity is having its way right here, right now, in and as my life, and in and as the life of all. So I breathe this in, and I allow myself to accept this natural state of being, and to allow this joy to emerge through me in all that I do. I move throughout my day embracing play. I am willing to be curious, to let go of judgments and resentments and all those things that make me take life so seriously. The fear, the doubt, the worry. I know now that they fall away and no longer have any power over me from this moment forward as I step in and claim the truth of my life as love, as joy, as creativity, as freedom. I am here to be, to express all that life would have me be. I am open and curious to know who I am and what is mine to do, and how I can allow the joy of life to express in, as, and through me. And I pass my word.
And as I just pick up the word and feel the energy that has already been expressed here this morning by Reverend Rainbow, I'm knowing that right here and right now, that anyone who is within the sound of my voice, acknowledging their true individualized self as spirit, knows and affirms, and I hold and know and affirm for those who cannot know, that joy is who we are. I know that regardless of any conditions or experiences that may be happening in anyone's life right now, that joy can be called upon to simply support, sustain, and maintain all that needs to be known in this moment. I know that there is no denial to this joy, and that When sorrow shows up, joy is sitting on the bed, waiting to be expressed, waiting to be picked up. And I claim that for each and every individual. Knowing that love, too, is the avenue from which we take our joyride. The love of self, the love of all people. And I especially hold in my heart this day for all of those individuals who have been displaced and are experiencing war in our beautiful and amazing world, on our planet. I especially hold all of those who seek peace, who seek to have a world that works for all. And so I'm so grateful to know this truth. I'm so grateful to stand in the power and the presence of the Word, the power and the presence of the one source of all things, creating out of itself only what is like itself. And so I hold in my hands the power and the presence of the one, knowing that as I have claimed it, it is so. And so I, with a grateful heart, release this word into the perfect universal law, knowing that the law must say yes. It always says yes. It always says yes. Standing in the power of yes, the place of grace. Shalom, hamdulillah, ashe, namaste. This prayer is done. I leave it knowing it is so, and so it is. Amen. Now, before you sit down, turn to your neighbor and say the following. Bugs Bunny said, "You can't take life too seriously because you're not getting out alive anyway."
All right, yes. We might have to add in like a little joke section, right? Turn to your neighbor and tell a joke.
They started doing that.
They did? Joke of the day. The youth apparently do a joke of the day. So, you know, maybe we need to learn from them in order to embrace more play. Joke of the day. All right. So we are now going to move into our time of conscious giving. And we are going to have our members of our core council pass the basket in the room. If you are online, there are several ways you can give virtually as well. You can text the word GIVE to 859-209-6996. You can go to our website and press that giving tab or mail in your gifts to 168 Burt Road, Lexington, Kentucky, 40503. So I invite you now to repeat after me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have,
Blesses and multiplies all that I have,
all that I give,
all that I give,
and all that I receive.
all that I receive.
I joyously contribute to the vision of Ahava,
I joyously contribute to the vision of Ahava,
knowing it returns to me
knowing it returns to me
multiplied abundantly.
multiplied abundantly.
And so it is.
So it is.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
Grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
Grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
Grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I've been a poor man and I've been a king. I've had my life and the world on a string. I've traveled many roads, but I'm so far from done. I have been hopeless and I had my faith. Some things I have lost and some things I have saved. All of these moments show me the way that I've gone. Good to know there's so much to live for. What a day to feel alive. I've made some wrong turns, I've made some mistakes, I've broken some promises back in the day, but I've got a feeling I'm ready to leave it behind. Good to know there's so much to live for. just the way you are. We celebrate your sacred face. We love you just the way you are. We love you just the way you are. We do.
All right, little man. What was the affirmation today?
Being flexible.
Yes.
Hi, I am.
Oh,
Thank you.
it's like, this
Okay,
is mine
so
forever.
Miss Cadence is going to tell us about what we read about.
So we read about the book about a tiny seed that was thrown and went so far with the others, and then it made the biggest flower.
Wow.
Yes, it grew so tall, taller than the houses.
The tiniest seed.
What did
Made the
we
biggest
do,
flower.
Libby?
We made a seed. We made
planted.
a seed.
Yeah. So we each have 4 little cups with flowers. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Got to practice lots of flexibility today.
All right. So let's all affirm, I am flexible. Yes. All right, give a hand to our youth. You're going to go back that way to your room to get picked up after service. Woo! We love getting to see our little ones and remind us of that energy of joy and enthusiasm, yes. So just a reminder that practitioners are available to support you through prayer, and you can leave a prayer request in the prayer box by the back entrance there, and they will pray over that during the week. Also, our prayer class starts tomorrow night, so you can still register, jump on that. It's going to be fabulous, fabulous. So I invite you now to stand and repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in play.
Life is in play.
I accept it.
I accept it.
I am it.
I am it.
I share it.
And I share it.
Just the way it appears,
Just the way it appears.
and just the way it appears not.
And just the way it appears not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Hey, time to play.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. We want to thank everyone for coming out today and for tuning in online. Don't forget, go home today and do something fun.